You're listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
Ari.
And it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are talking about anime that aired the 31st of May to the 6th of June, 2025, starting with YAIBA, Episode 9, Dawn of the Lightning Slash. In which
slowing down a little touch.
Yeah. This is like 2 chapters stretched out with loads of new material. Because I was curious after something we'll get to later, where it was a lot of chapters with a whole load of material on the cutting room floor.
I was thinking that must be the case with it, and I'm glad you confirmed it. Yeah.
But not here. No, here we get a lot more of where this move comes from.
Remember all that family was there at the start of the story I've been touched on in like literal like a month and a half now. They're still here wondering what the fuck are our kids and grandchildren gone to. That's
the delight at which seeing their daughter back safe and sound from her quest is interrupted with, it's like everyone's like, whew, thank God, let's take a load off. It's like, who's that frog man? Who's that little thing on its shoulder, which I didn't even notice? And who's that old man? It's like, who are all these fucking people? And there's like, oh, those are all our new friends. Also,
okay,
last week's enemy is already in the house, so you should be getting used to the new characters at this stage.
Right. Well, let's take a break from that nonsense and turn on the news. Oh, that Oni Mara was just taking over the D. Oni Mara's taking over the D. How long is this going to go on? You can't escape this thing. They're turning on TV. It's in your home. There's weird stuff happening. Something has to be done, it tells you.
I like the
modern... you got to train.
Yeah, I do like the modern explanation of how he's doing so well, at least on social media, is because Mr. Spider can like be on like 4 different Twitters at once, like with a phone in each pair of hands.
Albany Mario is great. He's also so handsome. Am I right? Hashtag Bony Maru.
Oh dear.
Handsome.
Yeah, so we've got YAIBA's trying to think of a new move, and Kajiro's trying to, I got to get that sword off him before he comes up with a new move. I'm going to try all these dastardly techniques of trying to steal it, all of which will get interrupted every single time by various people.
And also getting mistaken for him actually bringing out the nobler sides of his personality and saying, do I want to, if I'm going to help him to fucking train so I can, get an opportunity to see his sword? Or do I want to help him train so I can help him nurture into a more fearful opponent than Musashi, as is my samurai code. Within me kind of dictates what I do. But I'm evil now. No, I'm totally evil, everybody.
Anyway, he, of course, ends up accidentally helping YAIBA perfect his move, which is the gemless lightning slash. So it's a super fast slash that moves so fast it generates lightning without the gem inside the sword.
It's like cutting horizontally, like, what was it, like 50 times?
50 times, yeah.
So it's generating static.
I feel like it was less the speed of it rather than to kind of like the lightning bolt does is what actually inspired it, because powerless you cut like 50 plus discs out of like a tall bamboo branch stalk because you just like glue it. So that's why he's like studying Kojiro Sasaki, because fun thing. He's like the swallow cut is it's like goes just like very quick turn goes around. How do you turn your wrist so quick to kind of do the you gotta fight him. That's how you do it. A fight is a conversation, as we know.
Yeah. And so, by the end of the episode, with that move perfected, we're going to assault Onimaru's castle.
The skull deal.
The initial plan of distracting him with sexy ladies is failed. With YAIBA's like, I can just fly in on the condor onto the top floor. We skip all the bosses leading up to the final boss, and we just go straight to it. Like, pretty good plan. Yeah, that'll work.
Always bird friends, go under. And Kojiro, you're going really deep cover here for and saying, yep, I'm totally storming the castle with all of you, because I am your friend, but I'm actually not your friend. But secretly, I am your friend. I think I'll come around to this just fine. I'm a noble samurai.
Yeah, there was an entire character cut out of this. From the
Okay.
They died as they lived, without us knowing.
While they were training, they get attacked by a bounty hunter, hired by Onimaru, who's got really large hands.
That's the right branch for this, huh? It's this big hand. Well, I think they did an admirable job. It's like getting that across. If I can, we need to have a little bit of like regrouping time before we go to the final. I think frantic stretch to get to the end of this in a few episodes.
Is this? I thought it was a 2-core thing.
Unless there's like a weird extension to this because it feels like everyone's saying we're rushing in here, like
there's loads of stuff after this bit.
It is there now.
Okay, so they're rushing to get to the second half, maybe?
There's certainly, it's going to make a big blowout like thing for the end of this particular storyline, and it goes on after that, I guess, I imagine. Because we have Dr. Wily's robot masters, robot only masters are waiting in the wings to attack him as well.
Yeah, it's 24 volumes of the manga. We're like only on like chapter 45 here.
That's not what I thought then. Right.
No, there's like I know it ends on a big tournament arc because characters from that tournament arc show up in Detective Conan with a surprising amount of frequency.
The frog doesn't get killed, does he? He doesn't get murdered horrifically in a thing that was, Frogman, you were right all along. I hope not.
No, there's still more things it's got to steal for Rambo 1/2 as well. But it hasn't stolen yet. I was expecting the Onimaru thing to be much later on, but maybe the mystical part is resolved quickly and we move on to other things after that. Or this is like Die, and we're going to be in this castle an awful long time, and there's going to be an awful lot more people to fight when we're in this castle.
Or it's doing the Dragon Ball thing of we defeat Onimaru, and now Onimaru is our friend in the next arc, like as often happens with Dragon Ball. So
it seems to be friend about like because we have the YAIBA and Onimaru. This is a modern rivalry, but it's reflected against the Musashi Kojiro rivalry from this past as being that's still going about, even though it's a different thing. But it's about like fun egging your opponent on, not because you necessarily agree with his morals or his ideals, but because he's just a strong opponent. I want the best. So. And Kojiro was saying, I'm totally a zombie bad guy now. I'm against Jai because I want to beat him and see the sword, not because I see him as my next opponent and what's best, to achieve growth as a warrior.
Right, close that. And Shirley, episode 9. Next to trying and winning, the best thing is trying and failing.
This is like what precipitated what became like I watched a few things in an afternoon. It became a lot of me crying over letters being delivered and then read by people in the program. Fun saying, There's something to must be said for us, like the form of that. No, you don't get that from an email. It's a handwritten letter full of emotion that it wells out into you too.
Well, it's hard to stain an email with your tears. You could try, but it's a little extra effort.
Yeah, and it's often like at the Queen's College, the Queen's School. It's like I'm not really in the same class as people, and the only person in my class is Gilbert. But then I'll write you all the time, let you know how I'm getting on, and I'll get on with it. But just by fun saying, this girl, that's me is pretty cool. And the girl behind me, is kind of is a bit of like a class clown. If I get on with her as well. But there's nothing like you, Diana. Diana, you're like still number one in my heart always. But do I totally hang out every weekend when I get home?
Yeah, the funny thing is she's writing her like, "Dearest Diana," it's like it has been 5 years since our last meeting. It's this kind of like
it's been a week.
Like you see each other every weekend, as several of the characters point out quite fucking often to them. But like you can definitely see like there's that kind of childishness to her, and there's the childish hopefulness to her as well. But you can see her kind of maturing, especially like from her at the start of the episode, start of the show, to where she's at now, and it's still getting through that stuff, but it's still very emotional. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, like it's very much getting across that like she hasn't had a home long enough to be away from to have this feeling of homesickness. So something she's really kind of grappling with, you know. And she's home every weekend, but I just really compare it. And then when she comes home for Christmas, it's just like, oh, I can see everybody, and it's home with family, and then like, you know, even though it says to Matthew, like, you know, oh, like you can bring me down to the station, but you don't got to, but I know you want to. Fun saying, no, it's fine, I'll wait for the train. And even like with Gilbert on the platform, even though like I just decided out of fucking stupid childhood like pettiness, I'm going to be rivals with this person for the rest of my life. And saying, oh man, it's Christmas like holiday over already. Well, better crack down, you know, study. I don't want to be slacking. You know what I mean? For saying, I see you, Gilbert. I get you right there. But the best student win.
The main thing that they can kind of connect on is while the childish rivalry, she really should have apologized years ago at this stage. They are academic rivals in that they're competing for the same. There's an award and a grant, I think. For
it's like a medal which gives you a scholarship.
Yes. There's a specific scholarship and there's a medal one as well. But obviously, I think as we find out, Gilbert's not going to go further education. He's going to like take the medal and basically get that his I assume he's teaching license or something.
Well, say he'll likely like take on the school in Avonlea in Green Gables, and you know, it's just kind of, and it's going him teach at the school that we went to him. It's going, you know, it owns always one thing. She's just like, what kind of fucking ideas are you going to put in those kids? That fucking Gilbert Blythe, no good son of a bitch. I wouldn't say that so loud though.
It's still very nice. It's still kind of like hopping through the stuff because it goes through like pretty much her whole term or first term at
Queen School,
at the Queen Anne's school, or the Queen School, and then like the winter term and going into the end of year exams. And throughout the whole thing, and not that we've been doing it the whole time, but hey, Matthew's looking older and older, and he's clutching his chest more and more. And it's like,
it's just it really kind of fucks you up, like, you know, when she's back for summer holidays now, and it's like, you know, and look, fucking Gilbert, he aced you on like, he made like kind of top of the year, but you got the scholarship, you had the fun bit of writing, the kind of thing. And it's kind of like, it's really kind of good to see like Anne, like, she's obviously, she's going to be a teacher, but it's just like the literature to write. It's just like, it's like the kind of hunched over by candlelight going like, you know, just like that, this like total like fucking classical literature author modes. It's like, you know, she knows all at the byline, which is fun saying, yes, this is my opus. But she's back with summer holiday and it's like, you know, it has ended it in the last summer she had before sorrow like descended upon her life, and it's just so many fun flags in there. It was just fucking, hey Matthew, fun, hey chill out, we're just gonna let's slow down, let's walk home together, I'll take one of those buckets off you. And it's just like, well, gosh darn, like and you must have been the best mistake we ever made. It's just like, oh, sucks for that now.
It came up so much between himself and his sister, where it's just like, that was like, we wouldn't have had it any other way. We didn't intend to have her, but she's actually.
Is there any better mistake we ever made? It's just
just really nice, and him getting the chance to express that to her as well. It's just like just genuinely sweet moments. So really, and it's just like tearing up. Yeah, for sure.
It's just so much in it though. It's just like this, like, you know, they got that perfect kind of like watercolor sunset going on.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. It was like, sure, any girl might do it, but my girl did it, and it's just like, shit, man. That's just, it's really fun. Like, just twanging at me so much, and it's like, man. Of course. So it's gonna hurt so much, and it's just like, you know, you see the fucking preview, it's just like falling in slow motion, you know, fun. It's like, you know, like, no.
It's very much like, didn't have enough dead parents this week. Well, get ready for next week.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't think it's spoilers of us talking about this. This is a how many years old piece of fiction. I think we're past the statute of limitations, but we know where it's going, and even knowing where it's going, it's still bittersweet and everything.
Yeah, but it's gone so much beyond like what I have picked up by osmosis, the bit I saw of the old anime TV series. It's like I know putting things here and there. You can infer where the direction of it might go from into one thing. Well, we see the family photos when she's like a lass, and then we see her fun. Oh, she's full grown, a teacher right there. But Matthew is still in the photos, so it's like hope you still at least last to see her take over the school or become a scholar or whatever. It's good fun. It's just like she's just fucking a real good kid you want to kind of root for, and again I just see kind of her situation and the feelings of the people who came to kind of take her in, think reflected in my own family. So it's seeing what Anne's situation is, and then seeing the way that Marilla and Matthew how their emotions have changed and how they kind of want to fun thing. I wonder if from the people who took care of me, when I'm feeling that those same way at certain points in my life, maybe still at this point in that those feelings never go away. It's just I suppose that's kind of a thing. Why this kind of is kind of book that resonates so well. It's like if you're a younger reader, you kind of might be more into Anne, but if you're on of a different age group, you might read more into what Marilla and Matthew are feeling.
Yeah.
That's why it's evergreen. It's evergreen Gables.
Then we got Manga Biyor Go episode 9, Bad Cats, in which we got a trio of thieves, one of which is being kidnapped by a gang. It's not clear.
The gang of tall, very too tall fedora-wearing criminals explained as so you're thieves who only rob from other thieves, huh? I bet you think you're pretty fucking cool, but not so cool that we haven't fucking caught you. Now where's the money? She's like, I'm not telling. What's that thing on your shirt? It's the tag from the shop.
And it becomes a radio. Essentially, they were too cheap to buy they
weren't too cheap. He wanted the tracker that was the size of a grain of rice, but a guy was in the queue before him and he bought that one. He's I had to get the next biggest one, which is too big. It's too big. It's bigger than a smoke alarm, basically.
Yes. It's like the size of a smoke alarm, but much taller. So it works. They manage to they track her down, they rescue her, immediately get shot, so all three of them are captured now. And they sort of give up where they say that the money's hid, the map to where the money's on is on the laptop. But then that triggers a smoke bomb, which allows them to get away.
The laptop is shit. It's a shitty tracking device, so if you mess with it too much, it starts smoking. They use the smoke screen to get away. They forget to remove the tracking device, leaving the thing for tracking the laptop there, and it's just for fuck's sake. So the criminals just track them to the money anyway.
Yes.
But they kept 3 notes for each of them.
Which is just enough to buy the other tracking device at the shop.
The really big one. We won't fuck it up next time because we'll buy the fucking massive tracking device.
Yes. Also, from the backgrounds, it seems like the place where they buried the money was very close to where they were being beaten up by the criminals in the first place.
It's very good. The setup, when they set up that this thing smokes, the payoff that they're not going to remove the tracking device and just be tracked with it. That kind of it's all very good. I like the little very quick sting of the theme, Bad Cats, I should say. It's a good show. I would watch a show just of this. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's very much. I was like the trio of them is a bit like what's the John Woo film? About the thieves?
Yeah. Jeez, too many John Woo movies in my head now. They're all just...
Better Tomorrow.
No, this is the comedy one. It's the more lighter comedy one. I can't remember what it's called now. I want to say it's called Catch a Thief, but I think that's another film. But it doesn't mean that it's not also called that.
Sure.
It had a US TV movie remake that John Woo also directed, which is not as good. I like these ones where it is just a very simple sketch comedy game where it's here's the one thing, it's this tracking device, and then we'll go and try and wring as many jokes out of that as possible. like the Hansel and Gretel one is Hansel really wants to lick that window, which I think is still my favourite episode so far.
It's it's the best animated one as well. It's not. This doesn't need to be well animated, but the good animation is used for comedy, like fucking decking that witch. Like I was just like, fucking hell, they didn't need to go that much on it. But
yeah, Once the Thief might be.
Once the Thief, that's it. That's the one.
With Chai and Fat and all your favourites.
Then we got Kowloon Generic Romance episode 9, which I realise is the thing I forgot to watch this week. But I did have a quick skim through it, so I've got the gist of what happens. But somebody who watched all of it, please tell me what happened.
Yeah, very kind of like being spirited away, or like being away at the fairies. With the good people, the good folk stuff going on here.
I was saying that was reminding me, like, do not eat of goblin food, that kind of thing, where it's like if you eat, it's not so much that, because I was thinking you eat the pretend food, you leave and you haven't been eating for several months because now the pretend food is out of your system, but it's more so that eating the food gets you in the delusion of Kowloon. Like,
it's part of the delusion. It seems to just like,
yes,
but it's not like you eat. It's not like you eat it one time and like you're just under it. It's like it just seems to have a kind of, at least for, because Yame was able to kind of, I'll just walk out right now and if I go do anything. It was like completely like enraptured, but so. The kind of feelings you get from saying, we gotta go to the lemon chicken place and get lemon chicken, we gotta get beers. It's just like, it's not just fun at the pleasurable thing of having, like, always fucking the 1st of July, always scalding hot evening, we gotta have a bunch cold beer and chicken. It's not just, that's just what I needed. It's just that part of that pleasure, and then it's to, like, inure you more to the illusion of things. And she forget she's about to say to Reiko about, I was talking to a guy about the true nature of Kowloon. It was the second one was destroyed 3 years ago, and then damn, that's some good iced coffee right there, man. I tell you what.
yeah. She's like, I think Gwen is asking her something along the lines of, is like, did he ask anything specific? And he's like, he asked me if there was anything like unusual about Kowloon. And I was like, oh yeah, did you come up with anything? And she's like, no, I mean, like, this lemon chicken's pretty fucking great. She's forgotten that it's always in the height of summer in the middle of Kowloon, because you see she's about to go that way, and then it's like, now I'm back in the delusion because I'm currently consuming it.
Yeah, and Gwen's observing this now, and we see, like, in his fucking, like, kind of shit like kind of hotel room, which we should kind of he's like a gear bag full of like fun bottled water and just like calorie mate and it's like, not touching any of that stuff right there. But then he's talked to Kudo, who he knows as, like, he goes to the St. Dumpling Soup Place every week. He's talked to him. He knows it's fake. He doesn't mind that it's fake. He just wants to stay here. So it's not even consistent in how like this affects one person or the other. And again, Yame is just like, she never knew about this place before she even came to it. Does it affect her differently? Because in that respect, it's like, again, up and down. It's like there's no like kind of consistent rules. And then like Yulong is like trying to kind of like suss it out from afar as well. Zhao He has come in as well. He's like, I guess, much like his Kowloon like counterpart, does a lot of odd jobs. One of them being the fellow who goes around and like tests all the smoke alarms. He comes in like, he's doing like, doing the business now, but like over Yame's place. And Reiko's come by. She's brought coffee. She's brought snacks. She's dishing about, I totally fucking made it with Kudo and like fun saying, girlfriend, you gotta tell me what about that. Like, you gotta tell me, give me that shit. It's good. It was quite fun. Zhao He. I know it's Zhao He. Oh, sure, Zhao He is a very common name. Everyone's got that. So it's a boy name or a girl name. It's all right.
But the way, like, when she's doing dressmaking for, I think it's a burlesque show or something. I can't remember what she was saying it was for.
Yeah.
But so she's making a lot of dresses and whatnot. And Zhao He is kind of like, it's like, I used to be into this kind of thing when I was younger. Possibly when I was a younger little girl. I guess we'll find out eventually. But like, and they're like, yeah, you can still be into it now. Like, and I do like the nice thing of like, oh no, I dress like a dude now. I'm all about dude stuff, even though I'm super into the gothic Lolita thing with the frills, and like he's talking about all his favorite kind of stuff. And she lines the inside of his waistcoat with like frilly things, and I was like, that's a nice kind of thing, like the representation of the internal wants and desires and stuff with the external appearance stuff. So he can still feel the fun of frills while dressed like Like
Yeah.
at some kind of assassin type thing. I don't know. It's something about the very tight shirt and the
It's very tactical.
Yes. Yeah.
You're like a tactical fucking house cleaner.
Yeah.
She was doing odd jobs around the place. Like Reiko was right for saying, well, there are kind of like no degrees and levels of what you can enjoy a thing and then get fully on into it. I mean, just because you don't need to be kind of putting on, or because most of us can't even afford to be buying a new kind of outfit every fucking weekend or every week like that. But you can admire the details and like the craftsmanship of the whole thing altogether, you know? What's happening? Miyuki is going around. He comes dangerously close to kind of getting pulled further into the Kowloon illusion himself, because he comes by like, here's like the Wong clinic, just like the one on the outside. Is like, when do I go in here? Because he's the guy, like, I guess, he knows all the kind of the situation within the medical history. So it's like, is he something he's clinging on to from here that allows him to come and go?
He's mostly avoiding like not only like getting pulled into Kowloon, but he's also at the same time, as contrast, avoiding Gwen. It's like, nope, not talking to you. We're broken up. No, we're not doing this shit no more. And obviously Gwen's still chasing him, but it's interesting. The other main bits we're gonna get, I think, would be our main character is like, your man's following her around, and it's like she's nearly doing the things that her B version would do. Kujira B would do. But she's not quite lining up in some things. So he's like, I'm happy to be in this relationship. It's not quite right though. It's not quite what I want of it. Like you're just that, like the differences keep piling up when he's supposed to head over to hers.
He's just fucking seesawing, man. Like he's just going very fun, hot and cold in the whole thing, like, and he thinks he can, again, he knows this is like all fake, and he knows it's like, well, this is kind of in the next best closest I can get to the whole thing. But even in this idealized version, it doesn't quite compare to the real thing. And as much as he wants it to kind of be, he just can't realize it. And that's not Reiko's fault. Like, no, she's literally, she's trying to kind of even like, she knows she's like, a copy or some kind of facsimile of a sort of person. But I'm gonna live my own life, even knowing that. And Kudo should be happy about that. If I'm saying, well, like, it's good. She's like, he's a real person. I'm not kind of wallowing in my own fucking like grief and despair. That, like, but she's not the same. She doesn't make French toast the right way.
Yeah, I did like a lot of the things that was doing was lining up to exactly to Kujira B, but she didn't know that you sprinkle the sugar on the French toast like Kujira B fucking did. It was like, that was nice. And it just like that goes, I'm like, I gotta go. I'm going home. And it's like, she has to be like nearly exactly a copy. And again, maybe that fits into your man's plan of, I'll make a copy of the medical guy's son, but it will be frustrating that he won't be exactly your son. He's like, it's pretty close. Not the same guy though. Yeah.
It's just all being imported to Miyuki's dad by one traitorous Zhao He. Is just like relating on the details of everyone's comings and goings and what the possible plans might be to produce clones. What's the kind of the rules of things right there. It's, if the real one is brought in, the double will disappear. But even then, some of these things don't seem to run with a consistent kind of internal logic. Oh, you long guy, hope you hadn't expecting this fun. Said, I never really great conversation fun. Said, hey, buddy, please don't tell me you've been reporting on all my friends' affairs to his dad, behind his back, would you? A little stitch of fun. Said, I don't know what you mean. Oh, don't bullshit me. I want to beat the shit out of you. Very much like, oh, we're all buddies here, but I know what you are. I know what you've been up to. I know you're going to work for me to fuck him over and send it and help out my buddy.
Well, that's the question. Is it to help out his buddy, or does he have a third motivation?
It is to he'll tell himself as that, but I just want to figure out what is I'm fascinated by this and this phenomenon. I want to examine it. I want to figure it out when I crack this code.
Because he specifically rejects Miyuki's plan at the end of this episode. He's going to go his own way, which is going to involve Xiaohei killing our heroine, Riko. Whereas the dad wanted him to try and take one of the Zirconians out of Kowloon to see what
if they can,
happens.
and she'd be a great example because her counterpart doesn't exist, so they can't have that. The two things can't exist in the same place. Kind of thing. Yeah.
It's just she seems to be like one of the more unique cases. Like fun,
Yes.
I suppose one actually, if we take her outside, would disappear, but then would a new one be generated to replace? Because there needs to be somehow. There seems to be a complete photocopy of this city at this place in one time that just is operating on a loop. It's a 1st of July all the time. All the same shops are there. Everyone goes to the same pubs. Everyone lives in the same place. And even the whole thing about we work in the real estate agent is just, we move people out in our place for that, but they always seem to wind up in the place where they're always meant to be.
Yeah. The apartments shuffle around, new businesses pop up, but then the same ones still remain, that kind of thing. Yeah.
I do like how no character in this knows what's going on, and yet
they all got parts of the story.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yet this is still a big enough thing that it gets reported on the TV in the news that there's this giant floating thing in the sky.
It's still there. It's still weird. But it's that's creating someone as I got a rule figured out for and saying, yeah, but what about this person? It doesn't affect anyone. And if you're right, it's just now we have no idea what the fucking rules are again. We have an idea of an idea, but we have besides that, just speculation.
Yeah, because the dad doesn't say take Rico. It's if you can't find anybody else, take Rico outside.
That's a backup plan basically, because she's a great example. Don't get rid of her immediately, but your man's just could just kill her then.
So we don't know why Yulong wants to kill her.
But see what would happen nearly is probably one of the things.
And we get a few more glimpses of Miyuki's past where he's regretting leaving his mother, and we see a flashback of young Miyuki, young Yulong, and Dr. Wong, who is apparently feeling down. So he takes Dr. Wong out for dinner, but we don't get any conversation there, just the sight of the pair of them sitting glumly in a restaurant.
Tried, man.
So there's that's an additional mystery, because it's this Dr. Wong character is all the way through, but don't really know what he just gets annoyed at Yulong stealing his medical records, but now knowing there's a further historical background with
the medical company and everything.
It's all the kids who were there in Kowloon to begin with of Miyuki, because we now also see in this episode Miyuki regretting ending his relationship with Gwen as well.
The thing I'm wondering with Dr. Wong's medical records is I wonder if they took everyone getting their annual exam up to the 1st of July of whatever many years ago, and it's we've recreated them at this point, and that's the only point we can do that kind of thing.
We could surmise that we know that Miyuki was he grew up in the second Kowloon city. That's probably why he can have come and go out of it, because he knew he lived in the original one. So,
but again, that doesn't apply to the rules, because the other guy who did also grow up with him in the second Kowloon, and he can't see the facsimile Kowloon. So again, the rules are nearly different to each character, which is an interesting way to do it. Yeah.
Oh, we've lost Niall.
You're a bit frozen, yeah.
Yeah, he's completely frozen up there. Well, hopefully Niall will come back.
Or another Niall could walk into the room and then replace him, and that. I prefer that not to happen, because apparently that's bad. But yeah.
Witch Watch episode 9, Dear Kara, New Friends, Date with the Night. In which we're back to. You're back moving again now, Niall.
Excellent.
Yeah, I gotta change this browser, I think, because I think it's doing something in the background that I don't like. Because it'll freeze up for every a few seconds at a time, and then start moving. When people are having this sort of problem, why is that? Why is it doing that? And say, I don't know. It's probably because it does some fun. It's not because they haven't got that in.
Yeah.
I find say, are you fucking running AI or some shit back there, you little bastards? That's what fucking my immediate suspicion is.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're back to 3 chapters.
White Watch.
Neatly divided into which watch. Dear Kara, I'd forgotten all about this part of Kara's background, and I
You were like,
realized
she's not a main character at all. She's not important, said Brian. She's not fucking going to make Dwayne cry. Yeah, sure. That's going to...
And then paper is very important thematically to
yes.
little storyline going forward. So it's like, that's a paper, it keeps going on with paper.
Yeah.
Yes. I've written down, I don't think this has been fully paid off in the manga yet. We get another step to this later, but I don't think the final shoe has dropped yet. Because you don't see the real mother's face in this story. No. And there's a thing which will happen later, presumably in the next core, where something that shouldn't happen happens, which suggests there's more to this story, and I'd forgotten this initial part. But yeah, the first part is Kara's dad has shredded a letter from her dead mum, and she wants Nico to put it back together, and she's willing to sacrifice her favourite dress to do it. And luckily, the letter was on green paper, so they can pick out the shreddings from the shredder.
Yeah, because they can't reform it with all the other letters, because they'd be reforming all of the letters in like a conglomerate. We need to get parts enough of the original object, not other broken objects as well. Is how the reforming goes. And the other thing is, like, as they're putting it together, they're having this conversation because they're just picking through bits of shredded paper, so they got time to talk.
So, what's the deal with you and your dad? If I'm saying, no, is this?
She's reasonably sure from overhearing it, when she's saying at like a relative's place that, because she heard overheard something, she's not the real kid anyway, or whatever. And that it's like, okay, I know my dad isn't my real dad, but that's okay. Like, he's pissed me off about this fucking letter thing from my dead mom. Like, probably saying is like, I know he's not your real dad. I just want to hear it from her in her letter. I'm mad at him about that, but I do still love him. Like, that's the important fucking thing. Like, as we're getting through here, you know.
Shredded it before you even read it, because I was like, I'm sorry, I can't interpret that once. And how dare you? We can't do that.
It's understandable. Like, it's the last thing her mom wrote to her before she died, like a year or so ago. Yeah.
So, all right, okay. I sacrificed one dress to tribute summon one restored letter. Here we go. I'm saying, dear Kara. This is from me. Hi, I'm your mother. I am dying, but before you, I want you to know, I want to say, as your stepmother, it's like, what? It's like, well, yes, that's right. Your father is your actual father, and it was a situation was like, no, your mother, it was kind of, you were born in a circumstance where they weren't able to kind of, she couldn't be around, she had to kind of like, go away. So your dad, he took it upon himself to raise you as his own, as a single dad, and he did his best with you. And then when you were still very small, he met me, and it was okay with you, the little trooper who said, I wouldn't mind being your mother again, and that's how we've always were. And then that's why it was always so tough, because we kind of looked somewhat like with the same kind of color of hair. We all seemed so fashionable.
I did like that.
Everyone assumed, oh, she's naturally her daughter. Of course it is. Because
when you see the flashbacks, it's like they have the same like kind of light brown hair. The dad looks completely different to her. That kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, but you're genetically he's your dad. I'm not your genetic mother, but I'm your mother who raised you, and I love you, and that kind of thing. And yeah, it was that I didn't want to see that, because he was worried that you wouldn't love the woman who raised you as your mother as much. And this is like, no, that wasn't going to happen. It's very teary. It made me very sad and happy, and it was good. It's a good one.
It's the best mistake we ever made. Just like, oh no.
Yeah, really good. And I did like the way that even the mother kind of like going, like, when I first met you when you were like 3 years old, I was just crying tears of joy. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be my daughter. What a wonderful fucking kid. Like, even the first impression. I was just like, it was just so nice. And why would you open with this and not fucking end the episode with that? I was like, I gotta put the episode down for a minute. I need to
even Nico walking home was just like, Moi's coming up and saying, "Hey, nice sunset," right? Nico and saying, "I'm sorry, Moi, if I start talking, I'm just going to start crying." It's just,
yeah.
I know. I'm really glad I helped someone today, but it's just so much.
Yeah.
Of course, Moi does scold the dad because there's a dad here that he needs to scold, and definitely nothing else going on in his life where he feels he needs to scold dads.
Yeah.
Then New Friends, where we meet the two characters who look like characters from the two most popular English textbooks in Japan.
Hello, I am Ken Harai. I am from Tokyo. I would very much like you to help me with my problem. I want to go out on a date with this girl.
I like baseball and watching TV. It's and I'm not familiar with the specific How to Learn French or whatever
New
the fuck
Horizon,
characters. I'm not specific. I don't know those, but I know this kind of fucking book, so the joke still works. So yeah. And just them getting it across where, they attach jokes. It's like, oh, you'll probably send it to your Canadian pen pal. And he's like, I don't have a pen pal. But because it's just like, that's the kind of thing these motherfuckers talk about. The fact that they have a pen pal or something like that. Yeah.
Would you like to go to the movies at the weekend? Yes, very much so. Fine.
Yeah.
And she's like the joke being that the girl he's trying to confess to is from a different kind of How to Learn English book.
She's from New Crown. He's from New Horizon.
It'll never work from two different worlds.
God.
But yes, he wants a spell originally, and Nico refuses to cast a spell on him because she is an ethical spellcaster. Which
it's like
all his self-confidence.
Please cast a spell on me that'll make me confident and be able to talk fucking normally. He explains through proper use of grammar. And she's like, "No, man. If she won't going to get to know the real you, you're nice. So if you want her to be with you, you want her to get to know the real you." He's like, "Yes, thank you. I will go now." And he goes to confess to her. And it's like, it's very quick conversation, very quick conversational.
This is my girlfriend. Like, we hit it off immediately. And so now the two tickets for the cinema that he was going to use.
We will go play tennis this weekend. Please enjoy these two cinema tickets.
Yeah.
Which leads us into Date with the Night, where Nico and Moi are going to go watch this film with everything. And meanwhile, Moi is concerned that he doesn't show his emotions properly, and so Nico suggests casting a spell which will allow people to see his emotions, but double checks with him first.
Again, ethical spellcasting. You do appreciate it. Yeah.
None of this bewitched nonsense of casting spells illegally,
poisoning people casually.
Yeah.
And this causes a tiny little boy that expresses his emotions through mime to appear on top of his head. She does say that the spell hasn't worked properly because it's too embarrassing for her to tell him what it looks like.
You've got a chibi version of you that's fucking adorable on top of your head. And he's so cute. Like, he's the cutest little guy.
So why is he the movie fun saying, sorry, I guess, but the little one is fun saying,
yeah, the little one's like punching the air, super excited. When Moi is like, I asked her a question, like the little chibi Moi is like, huh? It's got a little question mark over its head, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't tell him that this has happened to him.
Except when they're talking about, well, I thought the cinematography in this was like, when I'm above par. That's to be expected from Roger Deakins. I mean, it was about time Manga also, and then the little one is also fun, and also going, when he's like really in a good flow, like, the line up, and when he's really funny, they both laugh. It's like, he's such a humor.
And then she realizes when he saves a boy whose popcorn is about to fly all over the cinema, she realizes, he expresses himself in other ways that isn't just his face. And then he's
a very emotional guy. He does actually express himself. It's subtle, but it's there when you get to know him. And I was like, I do know him when he's happy and when he's...
My kung fu is too strong. It doesn't allow for emotion. But I want to let everybody know I'm really happy. Like, it's been great hanging out with you. You're a great laugh altogether, and I want to offer anybody else in the world. I'm so happy.
Fun set of episodes. Next week we get the student council, I think, significantly
Yes.
earlier than they
Yes.
appear in the
The
comic.
long awaited, or even more quickly awaited.
Yeah.
Then, talking of things happening quickly, Go Loser Ranger, episode 20, come and join the monsters.
Woo! Step on the gas and get this fucking shit done, will we?
All right,
Yeah.
Ranger Force in and Ranger Force out. We've been completely dismantled via the power of public disapproval of our actions. one bad like TV interview is enough to bring down the whole operation. And D is going, what the fuck? The fucking kill all those dudes.
It was going at such a normal pace for like a while because he's there at the what's it called, Save the Monsters Society. I can't think of the name of it.
Monster Rights, Monster Rights Society, yeah.
Like the KNO or something. I can't remember what the hell it's called. But anyway, yeah, he's there, and your man's just like, I think monsters deserve people rights and deserve to be treated equally. And he's like, yeah, all right, fucking. And the Rangers need fucking less oversight. Maybe they need to be dismantled. He's like, yeah, oh fuck.
If
I'm all on board with
the
this guy.
monsters are superior beings, I mean, to go to that that farce of a gladiatorial show week at the week and still have the spirit to stand up and be proud of the phone and saying, it's fucking right. This guy gets it. Yes.
And it's when he kind of says, it's like, yeah, and those pathetic fighters, they really need to be helped out. And he's like, I'm out. I'm done. Like he just insulted.
What do you mean? What do you mean, you fighters?
Like he pities the fighters, kind of thing. So
they're
trying to leave, and they're accosted by everyone's got implanted artificial fucking artifacts.
Yeah, Bill kind of moves really, really fast. And another boss shows up who he didn't show up last week.
Is that the final form of
Apollyon or whatever his name is.
Heli Polygon, the horse guy with the bag over his head.
Yeah,
he's the only other boss monster who's flipping around. So I presume it was him.
Yeah,
I think in the comic he'd shown up earlier, but not here because they obviously heard everybody complaining about how long the fight in the car park was last season, and just gonna speed through everything this time.
He's just manipulating time and space with portals to make everything move faster.
There were parts of it I really liked. Like I did like when D and the head of the Monster Appreciation Society gets swept away in like a portal to hit like his office. And he's like, "Holy shit, you're a fighter! Oh fuck, I'm a huge fan. You got to fucking sign my cape."
Yeah,
that was really good.
That is the great set, and the bit about how he explains that he's Angel's dad, but 20 years ago he was in middle school, and he was going.
And we only get the point of view of D, who's like, is that normal? I don't know how long humans live, or
but
what
even
they look
he
like
knows
when they get older.
It doesn't quite add up. Otherwise he's very well preserved if he says it was that. But I think something's going wrong there.
Because it's only D, he never fucking thinks further. It's like, that doesn't seem quite right. Rather than no, that's either a lie or something's fucking gone.
But Angel said she was a survivor of the previous monster worship cult. I presume he was like this and that. And it was nice to kind of it wasn't this heterochromia. She's just when the rest of the group engage artifacts, their eyes go the same kind of clear whitey grey shading as well as the ones. And she's like, well, after all, I'm half monster. It's just like, okay, it's like there's more being inferred, but it's like, again, it's just like these details are all happening and being layered out so quickly right now. If I'm saying the risk being kind of swept aside, she's half monster all along. That's pretty interesting. Fun. Are you going to get more about that? Not yet, or not ever. I don't know. Sure.
Apparently, Double X and Sakuraba, they're good pals. They know each other. Are we going to see the flashback of how they know each other? No, just speed. Where's that old man who rescued him? Just speed straight past that. He'll get turned into a monster as well.
So we speed past the fight in the Monster Society fucking hall thing. Like, that gets resolved pretty quick, and then they get to leave. And it's like, we're going to have a meeting with the Rangers, tomorrow, I guess, with the speed that they're going at with this thing. So they have, an official press.
Yeah, they've locked up History for now, because she beat the shit out of all of them. But up against the boss monster, which seems to be able to compel you to just get down in the dirt, you know.
Yeah, it was undead,
with
unluck kind of
commands.
rules. It says unthing, like unstand means you fall down, unsee you're blind. Like it can one thing that you do, and I was like, that's pretty good as a power actually, if used creatively, which it does.
So they have her on lock, you know, and she went up 3 days later, and then D is also in there because it's like, well, I guess he's not going along with this. Like, took offense to that remark, and she's in there as well. But it's like 3 days after disastrous
the
PR fucking TV interview here, meeting between the Monster Association and the Dragon Keepers. And it says, "Oh,
it's
they're
funny
all
that
here,
the Monster Association
including
is all
the
like
Red Ranger."
It's funny that all the Monster Association guys are like covered in bandages from the prior fight. It's just like, yeah, they look like shit going into this meeting. But the Rangers have a pretty good plan where they're just going like, we're all going to take our helmets off and go like, yeah, here's our backstories. And you one's like, I also was a survivor of that monster
the
cult that was the thing. Yeah, like my parents were killed, and that's why I became a ranger to protect justice. And I was like, wait, the Rangers are looking really good on this live stream. It's like shit. They seem to have us dead to rights.
Yeah, when Dios was going, when the Pink Rangers front saw her phone and saying, "Oh fuck, I know who that is. Oh, I had no idea. Shit. Oh, so many chances."
Yeah. But it's when they cut the cameras, our head of the Monster Society kind of goes over to the Red Ranger's like, I'm a huge fan. You're not like you're not a real fucking Ranger though. You're a pathetic fucking loser. You suck and you smell bad.
Well, he says like, he's a piece of poor imitation.
Yeah. It's like, you fucking what? Let me rip off your arm because that's the thing I do. And it's like, haha, I was live streaming that to YouTube. It's me, Hopalion, the bag-headed man. I was pretending to be one of your guys. Now you guys are fucked because now everyone's like, wait a minute, they just ripped that dude's arm off for insulting him. The Rangers are corrupt. Down with the Rangers, and within 3 days,
years of monster attacks succeed in doing what each monster attacks, like, you know, they didn't see nails and are now complete, like, well, just the sponsors putting out a competition.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, no sponsors, no fans, no money, no Ranger Force.
So that's the situation that our second in command Green Ranger wakes up to. It's like, yeah, Ranger Force is gone, man. It's
shit. Not a job.
Now she's gonna have to go back to school.
There.
I guess
they're still out there.
Yeah, they are.
Yes, because they invite loads of people. They all get turned into monsters because their plan is to turn enough humans into monsters so that there's an equal number of monsters and humans, so the world is fair. But the people are forced to turn into it. They're screaming for help from the keepers, and then the keepers show up and explain, well, we're heroes. We always turn up late.
To kill people.
We're reactionary. We're not proactive in how we do it. You've all turned into monsters. We've shown up to kill you, and that's basically what we're going to do right now. Yeah.
There's individual good scenes in this episode, but the connective tissue is all disappeared.
Yeah.
It's just fucking rushing fucking by. Like, you know, and it's like, I could have like gotten it for a bit where they go like fun saying like whoa. Everyone's like, you know, like fucking tipping their hands now. Last episode, and all these other plans when the works in Chicago. I'm going to have pull back and just like focus in on one of those and to see how that runs off. And say, nope, let's just barrel through all of this. We got to get so much in before the end of the episode order.
Yeah, it does feel like we realise we're not getting any more seasons of this, so we'll try and get to an A ending. But not as carefully as Trillion Game did.
Trillion Game found a good like stopping point and a good like skipping ahead in time point, and it's always been like doubling back to here's what we did in the past.
Yeah, so it was also a flashback fun thing.
It had a good way to hop into
a bunch of stuff happened, but ultimately, you know, we became friends and we succeeded for making $1 million, $1 trillion even.
Yeah.
Then we got Sword of the Demon Hunter, episode 10, The Harlot in the Rain. Apparently it's got an episode title.
These have episode titles the whole time, and I haven't put them in.
Yeah. I didn't even kind of pay what he does one now, and then when I checked before we jumped on one saying, I guess after that whole thing last week, there's still this in this time period, and it's not
I
really
like how
fussed
it's
about
done.
moving on from it, and
How it's done is the kids are, they don't have to go to fucking class today. The kids in, what is it, 1999?
no,
Is it?
it's 2009, I think, or
2009. Sorry, yeah, I'm fucking out a decade or two. Yeah, it's 2009 or whatever, and the kids are taking a break from the class. They get to go to see a play, and this is a play written by Harlot the Harlot from back in the day about her doings. So then we keep cutting between actors on stage and one of the kids fucking falling asleep to the play. And the actual scenes in reality, like sometimes it kind of cuts from here's what's happening in the play, and the play does its bit, and the Rakugo type woman is explaining the story, kind of thing. But then it kind of cuts back to when the main character's left. Jinta's there, and he's still talking with people, because even though that scene in the play, it's just like, no, that was a thing of our lives. Here's how it was going down. I was like, that's a nice way to do it. That it's just like. And then it's presented differently at the end, where Jinta's like, I didn't like the way Harlot made the Ronin look like a fucking asshole in the play, which is not what we see, because we see the actual events of history, whereas obviously they only heard the fictionalized events for the purpose of this play. I think it was Memoirs of the Harlot or something like that was the book the play was adapted from. But
Memoirs of Geisha.
Yeah, basically that kind of thing. But it's basically that the young samurai guy is really taken by Harlot, and they keep meeting under this eave in the rain, and they keep he sees a shadow that looks exactly like his brother, and she sees like, oh my god, it's my old flame, and he's like, wait, it was like my brother, your old flame? Is like, oh, he's disappeared. Strange, but he keeps wanting to meet up with her because he's really taken by her because she's gorgeous, and he's trying to get advice from the regular cast. It was like, how do I confess to this lady? He's being very proper. He's calling it like Miss Harlot because she refuses to give him her name.
And then for himself to step behind the counter, woman grabs the wolf and saying, "So she's still into me, huh?"
I see, yeah, but I think it's more because obviously it turns out that's not the kind of case. He's giving, because we now know that he's his older brother, now is an old ramen shop guy. He's giving him the only genuine fucking advice: is just be yourself, man. Just go up and talk to her. Like it's that kind of like just. And he's like, yeah, you're right. I'll go do that. And in the meantime, Ginya's been trying to hunt down this demon that only appears in the rain. And they're like, hey, Ginya, you're hunting a demon that's in the rain. It's like, yeah. And he said he met Harlot like the last 2 nights under the eaves while it was raining. And he's like, yeah. It's like, hasn't been raining the last 2 nights. And it's like, oh, it's demon magic. Okay, gotcha. So it's a demon that takes the form of your regrets, because it's just generic regret, but it's taking the form of whatever your specific regret is, or like as a person. Your man actually does like shakily stand in front of Harlot to protect her from this monster, and he hits in, but he doesn't have a magic sword or is a half a demon. So Jinya has to come in and save the day. Not how it turned out in the play. He saved the day in the play, and Jinya's really broken up about that in the present. But other than that, I was just like, yeah, that's kind of a fun way to do it. Like, it's just like they're learning about. I guess next one it'll be like a history class. It's like, here's a thing that happened as a historical thing. It's like cut to the past. Virginia was there. It's like, hello, it's me.
But it feels like now it's cheating a bit from saying, well, you can now if you're just doing this in retrospect from the modern day, you can jump around wherever you want. But no, we just want to do it in this period. And the whole thing with us because I don't think there's enough. What drew me to it was like the unique conceit of it. It's like, it's like it spans like multiple kind of decades across this huge period of time, and like he's about like hunting down getting closer to the nature of why his sister was the way she was, thing. With no interest in that. It's just being like a private eye, kind of like looking up his old cases, and some of them end like it's a case we followed here, might kill a monster at the end, or it's about like finding out. It's about finding your dad's old porn mags that he got specially commissioned, which
I would tie that into the other themes of resolving personal trauma. But they
have no interest in moving beyond at this point. It's like have a fun thing. Well, it'll span like multiple decades, but by decades I mean
this one.
From the 1800s and one in the 2000s. That's 2 decades. That's 2 decades right there. So that seems to be all I was interested in doing.
I get your problem with it like that. I really enjoyed the format a lot because, like we were saying before, like besides the budget of like running a big slime
Monster
demon
effects.
or something like that, yeah, this could easily have been a stage play. So what I like about this is like it is a stage play. So, and I was kind of thinking, God, if you did this, it'd be like a Shakespearean like play within the play kind of thing. And I was like, that would be so good. And I was enjoying that. Here's the story fictionalized and here's the story actual, and I was like, yeah, I liked the format and the contrast. I thought it worked well, but I get your frustrations with.
It's probably more
Did
fun
you
to
do anything
read.
else in history?
I'm not sure I'm having as much fun watching it.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Then we got My Hero Academia Vigilantes Episode 9, Mum Descends.
I love this.
Finally
I
get to
forgot
the
how
bottom
much.
of what the fuck is wrong with this man. Everyone's like, oh, this explains everything.
Well, I used to slap him a lot when he was a baby, and I was like, well, that's not cool. I know your power is to. I love the fact that she never explained that her power is she can slap you from a distance. Like that's literally. I was like, okay, so he like projects force outwards from his hands, and that's technically what she's doing by slapping you from a distance.
But he used to levitate as a child, but I'd often yank him down right then and there. I think I just stunted his precious ability. And it's
But
like,
you didn't want the
it never
baby like
became-
floating away into traffic. I understand her frustration. Like, yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
But she's doing her best, you know. How do you handle a child like that? She's doing her best, and she can't really overcorrect her right there. But in the process, made him like a much more of like a docile fella than even he actually is inside. But he just I want to like be the center of attention. I want everyone to be in there and be the big guy. I'm not a real docile retirement guy. It's just my man was a bit overbearing. That's my problem.
And again, it's with good intentions, but and even she realizes, yeah, I might have fucked him up a little. Shit. Like he's still a good kid, like so. It all.
And also, she's still going to slap him, and also tell other people to slap him in their absence.
She's never stopped slapping him. She continues to do it, like, and it's just kind of light, like stop, you know.
But she loves that Makoto. I'm saying you're a good match for Koichi. Yes. You'll take care of him. You keep on the straight and now. So, I'm saying Makoto can get your number. We stop. I'm saying no, no problem, Mrs. K. Here you go.
So yeah, that's the thing. Everything he's told his mom is true, except for that he has a girlfriend. So obviously our pop step has ran off to dress up as his girlfriend is presumably what her plan was. Whereas he's called in the hottest lady who owes him a favor. It's just like, you pretend to be my girlfriend, and your mom's like, wow, yeah. You fucking liar! There's no way you could land a fucking babe like this. What are you talking about?
The deception is over before the credits have rolled is amazing.
It's so
but
good.
You can still see fun. Say, Makoto, I'm glad you're around for Koichi because I can see you're going to keep on the straight and narrow. And I'm going to get fun. Says, oh sure, Mrs. H, no problem. I'll keep an eye on your boy. If you and me will talk about to take care of this one, lad. Yeah, totally.
And she's like, if you do want to marry into it, like, you can totally fucking have him. Like, that's grand. I'm fine with you being my fucking daughter-in-law. That's cool. Like, she's just trying to proposition her kind of thing. It's like,
go shopping. Yeah, let's go shopping. Have fun, Makoto. You know to go fun. I'm always an hour time fun. Say, Makoto, sure, Mrs. H, have fun. Take it all at one place we can go to. And you go out shopping. He's carrying the bags. It's like, this is the way of my life.
Yes. So Popper's showed up as well, and then Knuckle Duster shows up in civilian outfits as the head of this
community outreach program.
Yeah, community outreach program where these two young people work for him, and also it's very funny that the mum and Makoto are very into his physique.
Well, he's not dressed like Hobo Man, basically, like a very scary, like what do the teenagers call him, fist grandpa or something like that. When he's not dressed like that, he's hot. Like they're all like, whoa, okay.
It's also the way he carries himself, because he's like very perfectly kind of poised, going for and saying, yep, hey, I'm a Kuroiwa, pleased to meet you. I just want to let you know, he's one of the two fine young people right here. They're doing a lot of good in the community. They're great kids all together. They're some of my best people that have in the job. It's just like,
and what's funny,
being so professional and just so like, he's just like, bring it all in for very understandable. If one says, "Oh, fuck," when we put it like that, and he's not lying. If one saying, the community outreach program involves a lot of like, helping people out of jams and doing things. It's just like, giving a helping hand when like, the local authorities need like a hand themselves to try and like bridge that gap between solve his problems.
And when, like, especially with Makoto's like power, because if at any stage she touched him while taking his business card or whatever, it's just like he hasn't told any fucking lies. Everything he said is technically correct.
Yes, because Makoto's interest is clearly not sexual. It is, you look like a superhero. Are you a superhero? I need to find out if you're a superhero.
Like, were you into like pro wrestling, or maybe fucking were you a hero at some stage? Yeah.
Because the thing I never, there is some great transitions in this episode.
The shopping spree transition is fucking gorgeous. Like I love that so much.
Yeah, the bit when, because they go on a coach tour, the coach bus gets overtaken by a cat with a quirk, which turns into a cat bus. It's been drugged with the super trigger, but it's the bits where they're costuming up and going to help Koichi, because they've seen him and Makoto and Shoko are on the bus. That it moves like comic book panels, but not in like, but not necessarily. I'm going to stick a panel in here like I'm Ang Lee, because that's the only way I can make it look like a comic. In a way that I was like, I didn't get time to check who did the storyboarding, but there's lots of stuff in this episode which I think is the best it's looked in terms of capturing superhero comics.
It's done some slight paneling before, and especially like sound effects. But yeah, this is some of the better paneling.
I think what I was doing, it's just with a shot change, it'd be like, it'd be a kind of page turn is fun. Yeah. It's just it's your eyes, your head, or whatever you want to call it. It's just like it's moving in a familiar direction.
Yeah. Or the camera pans to another panel, like in a way that
your eyes would.
Your eyes would, and the motion is going in within with the frame and everything. Yeah, it's very well done.
So this is one of these rare animal with a quirk, as opposed to a quirk which turns you into an animal, because they're able to distract the cat by making a giant cat toy and getting it onto a safer road. But wouldn't you know it, the bridge is out. But great. For this story, they established the bridge was out in an earlier episode.
See, the reason why there's no one on this motorway is because the bridge is out, because that kaiju fucking broke it last episode. And it was like, that's why that was the safest place to send it, because there's no traffic on the road, because the fucking bridge is out. And I was like, it's just so cleverly fucking done.
It's the Diamond Unbreakable school of keep within this like 3-mile radius.
Yeah.
All people run into each other all the time. Because that explains, rather than it being fucking a galaxy far, far away, about a dozen people every time, here is just they are in the same parish. That's how they run into each other. That's it.
So of course Ingenium is assigned to stop the bus.
He's being the Keanu Reeves of the speed cat bus, and like him running on the bus, and it's like, is everyone safe? And it kind of spots Koichi, and then immediately like looks away as if he doesn't know Koichi. And it's like, that just makes it more fucking obvious Ingenium. But even like you see his setup is like, because he's like the speed hero, he has like traffic setup things. So he has like a bus that they can drive alongside the bus that opens the side panels, and a dude with really long arms to pick people out of the bus and put them in the back of the safe. And I was like, that's good. They have all the different guys with different quirks and stuff set up for just such an occasion, a speed type situation.
They get everybody off except for Makoto, because the cat is given an extra boost of trigger and it goes wild. And Ingenium is running out of his fuel, so they ask if anybody got any movement powers to deliver him some fuel. Of course, Koichi steps up. He's got a new All Might hoodie to wear as for his costume.
He bought it on the shopping spree. Yeah.
After his mum told him not to waste his money on it.
Because she knows what his collection is like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he goes off to deliver the cup of juice.
It's grapefruit or something, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. And then Jenny just throws that cup on the road. No, that's probably why Stain attacked him. For littering.
Well, if like the cycling tours, there should be somebody who comes down and pick those up. But there wasn't the case for a while. I think but it was like not even only a few years ago on a tour to France, it'd be fun. What about down the faster side? And then nobody might have picked that up until there was outcry about it. And saying, you want to fucking take it up after yourselves, which meant to be a sustainable fucking bicycle race?
The bus goes over, but he escapes, and he's gonna slide up the bus and Ingenium will catch them, but he doesn't quite have the momentum. So then, for sheer will, he manages to fly. And this is where we get the flashback to the mum saying, "Oh yes, he used to fly when he was a baby until I slapped it out of him." And this is the point which I never caught on in the comic. Is like, oh, it's Superman and Lois Lane. These two characters.
She's not a reporter. She's
she
a
is
college
very
student trying
reporter.
to investigate it, kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And,
Scoop, see what I got to. Well, how about you? You help me out, help you out. What do you say? Huh? It's like she's very fast talking, trying to get the down to it.
Yeah, and but I guess it helps that we're not like literally going like Lois Lane, regular cool person, and Superman, fucking god among men, and it's Koichi, like he's barely a man among men, kind of thing. Like he's very low on the scale, and she's still like super cool. But I did like the framing of comparison to the last episode with Captain Celebrity, where he's kind of doing the Superman princess carry, that kind of thing. And when Koichi's doing a thing, it's in a thing of desperation. It's real. Yeah. It's not the manufactured stuff from Captain Celebrity last week. And I was like, yeah, that's a really nice kind of contrast to do it that way.
Yeah. And of course, now his secret identity is completely blown to, well, his mum is constantly calling him Koichi, even when he puts the mask. He puts the mask on in front of a busload of people who've just on the side of the road. So
most people in this fucking neighborhood do know who he is, though. So it's like a lot of people do.
Yes, and Ingenium's like, just
Cruller, that guy who picks up litter. Yeah. He's
I'll just say a civilian help me out. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's a great episode. And it ends with him getting slapped some more, and also her trying to convince Mikoto to actually marry her son.
The thing about it is, we were talking a lot about the mother slapping him as an adult and as a baby, but it's like really like I'm not trying to defend her or anything, but it is coming from a place of like she's trying her fucking best. I don't want my baby flying into traffic. That's very important to me as a mother. But unfortunately, that gave him a lot of issues about how he can use his abilities. You project force fields out of your hands and feet. That's flight, baby. That's how you can fly.
Yes, I mean she doesn't show up much more in the series. I think I
know, but she is a great character. Like I've forgotten how much I enjoyed her. Yeah,
this is the amount of the mum you need just to get the explanation of why Koichi's like he is.
Like that's his mysterious origin, essentially. Yeah.
Then onto the perfectly understandable and coherent Mobile Suit Gundam GQuuuuuX episode 9, The Rose of Sharon.
So I guess I need to finally knuckle down and go back and watch all of the original Gundam, because I'm not entirely sure what they're talking about a bunch of the time. But
essentially, we meet this GQuuuuuX's Lala Soon, who is on Earth in some sort of brothel, the Cabas estate, where she's
it's like a brothel for Xeon soldiers, essentially, as far as I can tell. Yeah,
where she's the main attraction, and she's getting visions of other Lala Soons. And this is where Amate has crashed. She's only got at the core fighter. The rest of the Gundam is at the bottom of a lake.
Yeah, I didn't realize that actually the cockpit is attached to the boosters on the back of the Gundam. So when she's entering Earth's atmosphere, it basically, the GQuuuuuX tries to save her by ejecting the bit that can fly and letting the rest of the Gundam sink to the bottom of the sea. Also, her escape, we do get the background of how she escaped. She got a series of helpful text messages that allowed her to escape.
Somebody, we don't know who, but also
I was full sure it was Charia Bull when everyone was just like, "Oh my God, she's escaping," and he's just like, "Yeah, she sure is." And I was like, I thought he was texting all this fucking shit, but no, he's just in the same group chat. That's that is like, huh? I guess we should follow this text message. This worked out for me.
I thought it was the Harrow. There was something the Harrow did that made me think it's the Harrow, but then that was all put to the back of my mind as we get visions of Crisis on multiple Lala Soons, and then what appears to be the original Lala Soon pulled out from another dimension at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
in an interdimensional, I guess technically spaceship from their point of view. Yeah, because
Yes.
it's not one they fucking met, as
That
Jolly Bull
shouldn't
says.
be here.
Yeah,
You can even see where it got warped as it passed through dimensions because it's kind of bent in a way that shouldn't be.
But it does have the damage from when Amaru killed her.
So
But now that we can establish you can have psychic explosions that can apparently take you out of this fucking dimension, it's like, oh, so yeah, I guess good news, Charlie Bull. Your boy is probably still around somewhere, just in a different fucking dimension or alternate reality or whatever the fuck is going on. Yeah.
But it's sort of like I wouldn't want it to, let's say, kind of undermine what it was trying to do with this new setting. If I'm saying, well, this kind of new setting is actually an aberration. Ultimately, all things will like snap back to the actual timeline where this happened and this person died and this person succeeded and this sort of worked and it was kind of fun for a while just to see like like what was going to be the outcome, like if this hadn't come to pass, or would events occur in such a way that like they wouldn't be exactly the same as that, but it'd be things that kind of mirror like what transpired there, like the big confrontations and events of the old series.
Even though the bad guys win, but they're bad at administration. So like, let's see how that fucking goes for them. They're good at war, bad at administration. And I was like, that's an interesting premise to do. But I think, as you pointed out, wasn't last week, it was one of the prior weeks. It might be more of a the man on High Castle.
Yes,
kind of
because the thing this Lala is dreaming of is not the original universe.
Yes,
it's a third universe she's dreaming of. Where Amaru killed Shah and not her. Whereas in this universe, we never even got to that point. So of course, there's the other thing. The thing I dearly hope they do, and I don't think they're going to do it. The thing I dearly hope they do is stick to the Gundam Turn A thing of that all Gundam happens in a single timeline, and so it's not jumping through dimensions; it's jumping forward and backwards in time,
decades,
and
centuries ahead of itself.
Yes, and that the world just constantly has new Shahs, Amarus, and Lalas.
We keep digging up Gundams that were left over from the last war, and then putting them to work again.
And then as I was writing that down, I realised, hang on, that's Haybot. That's the plot of Haybot.
We do have some sort of psychic teleportation thing, so we could end up in some weird type Haybot situation, I guess. Yeah.
While we're talking about that stuff with the Rose of Sharon, which is the ship that they just identified as the Rose of Sharon, that's not really the bulk of the episode. The bulk of the episode is about at this brothel befriending Lala and the maids, and then making her escape, and then the brothel being burnt down, and Lala refusing to escape with her
because she's trying to fulfill this destiny of the one in her dreams, even though it's like, this timeline's gone different than whatever one you're seeing.
Yeah. But maybe if I keep staying here, maybe he will eventually come somehow, even from beyond the veil of death.
Yeah.
Well, except we know there is another Shah wandering around because we saw him last episode. What we don't have is an Amaru, because I realise they have still not recast Amaru's voice.
But there wasn't Sweet Chiikeda as Shah, I don't think. The first couple it was like there was somebody else, wasn't there?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
I thought there was somebody else in to do the Shah in this.
They definitely have not recast.
But true enough, they would. One get that sooner rather than later. But maybe it's like Amuro is fucking gone in this. That's why it was Sayla who attacked like Shar at Solomon and not Amuro.
He might have been just a casualty on it. Yeah, that's possible. Like, it's so insignificant to the story because he didn't hop in that Gundam, basically. The other thing I was thinking with these alternate dimensions and different timelines or whatever way you want to do it, that like obviously with Cherry Bull interrogating our main girl, it's. And he's asking her questions. She's thinking the answers, and he's responding to what she's thinking. And also, the Gundam wanted to find this time-displaced ship, and I was like, so the Gundams have like will now? Is that just building up from timeline to timeline to timeline? Eventually, now the Gundam's sentient.
Particularly with like the G Fred and the hangar it was in, and the color scheme it had, and the people involved in this, and the studio that they belong to, and what they just got done doing like a year or two ago. Robots being possessed by the souls of like deceased people is not anything new to them.
Yeah. So like we still have that like humming away in the background with that interrogation. Like it's not letting you forget that plot point anyway.
Yeah, I did at one point wonder if all Harrows across all Gundams are the same Harrow sometimes.
No, this one's evil. He's got red eyes and wears a hat. So
well, that's just like you're biased, man. You're prejudiced against like albino people. Just just because it's just that way, like this rabbit is presumed they're evil.
I really like, and again, one of the things I really enjoy about this is not this ongoing like the crisis of multiple Gundams fucking thing, but like the simple things of your one kind of going is like, here's some clothes, here's your fucking robot, and the robot's in a baggie, the Harrow's in a baggie, and it's like, here's some clothes. It's like, I'm not wearing a Xeon uniform. I'm not giving you a fucking Xeon uniform. Those are my clothes. You should fucking thank me. Like, just the people being regular people is really nice. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes. But you can imagine Matcher going, these are your clothes.
Great tracksuit, huh? Okay, fair enough.
And then we got Apocalypse Hotel, episode 9. Bookmark today's page in our guests' lives.
Oh man, it's the wedding of the century.
It is, and the funeral.
One wedding and a funeral simultaneously.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a magic show.
Oh my god, there's so many bits that got me emotional in this episode as well. Fucking this week, man.
It's been real.
The amount of times this episode made me laugh like a lot, and that magic show was fucking wonderful for sure.
But that was like part of the whole thing is like Granny has passed away. She's like, she spent one more last night in the hotel and recorded a video message for Ponko's wedding to be played right there. Because it said, don't postpone the wedding. Just remember what I taught you, kid. Always always be the one who is cheering people up, having a fun time, especially when you're down. So when I'm fucking like going into the ground or that, I have a fun party on me. No one will be down. So we're not going to cancel the wedding. We're going to have a wedding and a funeral at the same time. It's all going to be beautiful. And we've booked a hotel right now, and it's a lot busier than it used to be. We can't get the deposit back, so we got to.
I did like that initially. Our robot is kind of like this is my boyfriend, and she like does she's learned to punch first and apologize fucking later from the prior shit. It's just like, you can't take her away from me. She's gonna be in this hotel for. I was like, I'm not quitting the hotel. She's like, oh, welcome to the family.
And then because she's like, I learned how to punch when I punched your dad that time, and then that plays out again when they go and try and convince the mum to allow the marriage that. She punches the dad again rather than the mum, and the dad's like, "I was for the marriage. Why are you punching me?"
When they asked the granny, like, "Hey, granny, what was it like when Dad was going to marry Mom?" And it's like, "Oh, when she came in, I punched your dad." It's obviously it's like he just gets the brunt of it, man. That's just his life. Yeah.
Yeah, we get the very dramatic flash. This video footage of the grandmother's life.
I just story of Granny, and it was just like, there's a lot of gang wars going on. There's like a badass Tanuki with a hat and a scar over his eye. And that's all Granddad right there. I suppose he seems a real badass back in the day.
And here, while they're changing into their next costumes for the wedding, here's the footage of what's the girl Tanuki's name who's getting married?
Ponko.
Ponko's getting married, and here's footage from her life, and it's just like, oh, that's a happy music. And then with the granny, it's those same photos again to sad music, and then a bunch of other fucking footage.
Fucking black and white Chanbara film is happening there. Tanukis and fucking gutting each other.
Yeah. Because her life goes back further and was more dramatic.
Yeah, I think watching this episode, I realised. I think what they're going for and why the characters have to have such long lives to have the effect. Because I think it's about how cultures are changed by their immigrants. So it's the Tanuki, because the Tanuki initially want an an Earth wedding, but they end up having a compromise of a mix of their culture and the Earth wedding. But you've seen throughout the episodes, and why it has to be the Tukey all the way through, is they've changed the culture of the hotel as well from the longevity of which they've been.
And that was the point in the last episode where they're adding new rules to the hotel. It's like we need to change with the times as well. We need to adapt to our guests and to the changing times.
And it's also saying people should be nice to the people coming into their world, which is what Yachio has been programmed to do.
It even says about like, why do we even go to the hotel to have these kind of events for instance? Well, the hotel is like neutral ground for everybody for instance. Yeah. We're like independent of creed or association. We like want to provide hospitality for our guests, wherever or whatever they are.
But also, Tanuki weddings mainly consist of the couples exchanging shit. So it's just like, I'll have some of your shit, you have some of my shit. We're a family now. It's like we want
something
a little nicer.
Earth wedding, have it all fancy on the roof of the hotel. Have like drinks and neons and a mathematics show. And now from the hotel managers, it's like the see off, like the departed. It's like we bring our old coffin out here.
I loved seeing all the background aliens. All the background aliens in the fucking in the wedding funeral were just like, they were so nice and respectful and just like, they're just like, this is lovely.
I love the dudes from the Mary actually Skeleton Planet. They were like well up for a party.
They were up for a party / funeral. Because and again, just here comes the bride, like the wedding march, and also the pallbearers coming in behind. It's so good. It was so funny and tragic and nice at the same time. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah, the magic show part where she starts cutting the grandmother in three, where
Ponko is watches back in one piece. Ooh, how'd she do it?
Yeah, Ponko is horrified, but the little brother is like, still, this is his bag. He's all for this. Yeah. Anyway, a murder mystery next week.
The other bit there's several bits that made me cry in this episode, but one of the things that got me was obviously the granny doing the song and everyone singing along in the video footage, and the first guy to start singing along, much and all, he's been the butt of the joke. Everyone beats him. The dad, he's the first one to start singing along back, and I was like, oh man, you're breaking my heart here, show. And this is a very stupid show to get my heart broken about.
Yeah,
man. If it's sort of fucking corny or embarrassing, but it's genuine, it's still genuine.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah. This works better for me than many of these things because it does feel, because of the corniness, it feels more genuine and
it feels a bit like a wedding where there's like you would never take that seriously any other day but today, but here we are.
Yeah,
Dwayne, where'd you go to?
Yes, we've lost Dwayne entirely. That's not a good sign. And that has also made the video just a giant-sized Nile. Let me see if I can take care of that. Pin for me.
Get a good look, planet Earth.
Pin for me. There we go. We're now equal-sized again.
It won't last long. There it goes.
Right, I guess we'll crack on and hope Dwayne rejoins us.
Hope he returns.
Me and the Alien MuuMuu, episode 9, MuuMuu and the TV, in which the other two remaining characters show up.
Siberia and the
man in black, who is going to pay for all the electricity that MuuMuu is using.
That's nice.
Sakuraku Rako won't have to work so many jobs in order to pay for his electricity, while meanwhile he just wants to sit and laugh at humans on TV and not learn anything.
No, he's fallen prey to the many pitfalls of our civilization. Like, we are becoming enslaved by the machines rather than mastering them as their mission was.
Yeah. Siberia. There's Wayne returning. I need to make
green around the gills.
Full size again. There we go. We're all the right size.
Computer decided to turn off. What can I say?
That's fun. That's a fun thing for it to do.
Cool.
I feel good about that.
Good it's not something important like your brakes or your life support machine. Decides to turn itself off, but it feels like,
Yeah,
like a
that's great.
beer.
Junichiro, he's the cop with Siberia. I was not expecting Siberia to be like the junior member of the team.
I thought it was going to be the hit squad. Like this is the FBI guy. On the assassination, kill all humans squad is what I thought Siberia was going to be. Like, yeah.
No, but Shirley the big cat is like they're muscle of this all together. Being that they had specialized knife after all.
Yes, we get the.
Probably it's more like science officer. Was like
cleaning up after MuuMuu's fucking constant mistakes. Officer,
and Desimaru as well. Yeah, so basically, him, Siberia, and Junichiro are having to cover up all the obvious alien presence that MuuMuu and Decimal are doing across town. I like that the thing of them going to buy the thermometer was catch on people's phones and then broadcast on TV as amusing local news.
But in contrast to, it's like in local news, people see mysterious lights over the river and strange metal things found over the river. And in lighter news, like exactly those same aliens going to the shop.
Thermometer.
The interview with Tenku Bashi, with the pixelation being only like 2 pixels wide, and his face,
he's moving of his head. They do not fucking follow up with it, and it's like, what's the fucking point? That is a very good joke. Yeah.
But the drama is that MuuMuu thinks that he's upset Sakuraku by acting like a little shit, and so he rushes off to find her. But in fact, she was using the extra money she's now got due to the government paying her electricity to buy an OLED TV that they can watch together, which is handy because he's taken apart the TV in despair.
Work.
I appreciate that she didn't initially trust our like government fucking alien working for guy until he went, "We'll pay your electricity bill." She's like, "Oh, thank you so much. I'm having to work at that shitty fucking convenience store 6 days a fucking week, and it sucks. I hate social interaction. That's my least fucking favorite thing, and it's what you got to do when you run a convenience store."
Yeah, and there's a brief, exciting fight scene between a cat and a man as well on the balcony.
And MuuMuu is like, "Senpai, you weren't trying to fucking kill him." And MuuMuu was like, "No, I wasn't going to kill him. I was going to slash his throat." Like, yeah, it's very good.
Cool.
So just gotta wait for all those big cats from the opening to show up.
I guess those are the more murderous ones, considering they are tigers and such. So yeah.
Then we got Windbreaker, episode 23, Salvation.
Praise the Lord.
Wouldn't you know, this guy, he's got a story to tell as well.
It's just that you're poor, but you're not. You're poor, but you're happy. But you forgot about that.
You're poor in money, but not in friendship. Even though you claim to not be poor in friendship,
mostly in money.
Mostly money. Money's the problem. That's why you take
still
any
be
jobs.
That even after you realize you were friends. But
yes, we'll have this conversation with our fists. And so Super Kino and Suzuri have a fight. Suzuri loses, and everyone forgives him to a degree. And
they all try to go, but I don't like you. But I've heard your man run a ramen shop could use a few more waiters and like fun and kitchen boys and stuff. So maybe he could do something like that. I don't know. I'll ask him, I guess. And this fun thing.
And even after they've offered a bunch of jobs, like, listen, we can't give all of you jobs right now. And your man's like, that's actually fine. We'll just, whoever can be employed we'll do the thing where we're doing, we'll divvy it all up equally among us until everyone is gainfully employed and we don't need to fight people in a street for a living.
Yeah.
That's actually a positive, yeah.
I saw a mock that you were fighting for love and people you cared about, when actually I was doing that all along myself.
Yeah.
I am shamed and also very, very hurt.
Everyone's hurt.
So I've learned my lesson.
Now we have to go tell off the girl.
Okay, now you fucking gobshite.
Yes, we are ignoring your feelings by saying you can't just let us not fight for your freedom, but you're ignoring all of our feelings that we're fighting for your freedom. So that's kind of a dick move. Don't do it no more.
Clearly, we've got communication problems here. Maybe we shouldn't talk with just our fists as I want to do. Maybe we should, sit down and just jam about stuff instead.
If a gang rolls up on you, beat them into the ground, but then talk it out. That's the important part of it. The talking it out is also important.
Yeah. And then,
I'm glad we're all on the same page.
Yes.
Not me, says Sakura. Say what now? What's wrong? We're having this heartwarming moment with everyone saying,
Well,
I don't like the way you guys fight. I don't like. I agree with one more everyone saying, why you say that, man? Well, you're talking about you'd fight to the last man. You would not let anybody get by you. But I don't want to live in a world where my buddies get beaten up either. So I'm just going to have fun and do that fun and say, oh man, you got a long way to go. Well, that's really good. You keep that fun, that noble spirit, kid. You'll go a long way. It's like, shut up. I'm being tough. I'm being cool.
It says he knows he's naive. And also, it's because that comes after they've been telling Kanji and the singer, whose name I forget, to start dating. And then that's what causes them to look at Sakura, because they think, oh, it's going to be funny. He's going to be blushing because there's romance in the air.
But he's too much thinking about his personal feelings, about angry. People getting hurt who he cares about. He's too distracted from his romance radar, or whatever the fuck they call it. Yeah.
And then they're like, hang on a second, there's a slightly unresolved part of this plot. Who was it who was hired these guys to kidnap her in the first place? And what are we going to do about that?
You. Who's you? I don't know. He's a scary man on a rooftop. And he doesn't care what he's got to do to get in a fight, beat the people up. I'm a bad man and got tattoos.
It's the guy we saw leaving the Keel fight, going, those Keel guys, they weren't as tough as I thought they were going to be. Fella covered in tattoos.
Neither are gravel, apparently. You just want to have to do it yourself.
Yeah, our one of our four kings is the only person to seemingly recognize him, so presumably he's a graduate of boys fighting school for men,
or an old enemy, if I'm saying. That was a dead loss. Then Grabble didn't succeed, but I've mysterious kind of talk. Secured another card in my deck to deploy against Furin. It says, what does that mean?
It's like every time this guy is part of a thing where he fails to kick the ass of Furin guys, he's just like, now I know this guy's deal. He's just like slowly making him.
It's total like fucking like Nemesis in Kanikuman and saying, I see you've killed all of my friends, but we're still a superior team, you'll find.
yeah.
Oh, you've just slaughtered them without mercy, but you'll find that we actually are the stronger team. I meant for you to do that. Yeah.
That's why I send increasingly weaker teams after you, not because I'm losing or anything. No. It's a test. I was testing you. You passed this day, but not next day. Cape over face and run away. Basically, yeah. He's an odd villain, but I assume he's actually going to do something threatening eventually, because mostly he's just had guys get their ass kicked.
But probably not this season, because I think we've only got 2 episodes left. I assume based on previous experiences, I assume those 2 episodes will involve them going to have dinner.
Wait a minute, this is the food man. With occasional fighting.
Yeah.
The fighting's good, and the food looks nice, so I'm not going to complain. Yeah.
Well, when do you ever see dinner in Dinner Table Detective?
When she's just finishing it, so she can ask the butler, so solve the case for me. It's basically when we see the dinner.
Speaking of which, episode 10, Murder Lies in a Beautiful Rose. We get the entire mystery in one episode this time.
It was an easy one, but it's just kind of more about getting whole show's interaction with just oh yeah, your neighbors. Do you know them? Do they know you? This might make this case a bit tricky.
His initial thing was take off your glasses and comb your hair over your face, and he's like, no, a little more, no, a little more, no, a little more. And
now reach out the screen and kill me in 7 days. It's hey, knock it off.
I don't. He'll solve the case, but I don't think you should listen to anything else your butler says regarding advice, and also questioning your stupidity and all kinds of stuff.
It's just his tone and inflection is consistent. So whatever he says, you want to take it with a little bit of consideration. Maybe he knows what he's talking about.
So our victim here is Kyoko Takahara, a number 1 hostess and influencer who has been found dead in the rose bed of the Fujikura family. We've got 6 suspects. Kozabura Fujikura, the head of the household. Fumio, his wife, who's in a wheelchair. Yuji Teraoka, who is a relative and a friend of Kyoko, and he found the body. We've got Minako, the eldest daughter. Masahiko, her husband.
Yeah.
Toshio, the youngest son, who wanted to marry Kyoko, and not on the suspect list. We've got Rika Fujikura, the daughter of Minako, and Masahiko, and Tango, the cat, and also secondary victim.
Listen, the victim died of strangulation, so probably wasn't the cat. Because the cat has an injured paw, and how could it have strangled with an inch? No, the cat isn't the cat's not the fucking murderer in this case. No.
Yeah, so it looks like there was a fight in the addict's room where Kyoko lived, but then the question is, how and why was the body moved from there to the rose bed?
Yeah, so it's like 50 meters away, and even though she was like, a light woman or whatever like that, that's a long way to bring it. There's multiple flower beds on the way.
Yeah, and the eldest daughter recalls waking up in the middle of the night to go for a piss and saying, I thought I saw Ma'am Dad wheeling around Ma'am at all hours of night, and saying, well, that couldn't be possible. We were asleep in bed when we got one wheelchair. That's based in mind. They were in a wheelbarrow, or better. I was thinking
wheelbarrow straight away. Yeah,
better than that, a stroller.
Yes.
Again, really expecting you to kind of keep an eye on it once and pause this frame, any new location, pause the frame and look in the background and see, itemize everything in here.
It's very unfair because the stroller is it's one of those fold up ones as well. So it's did you recognize the folded up stroller behind the other pile of shit in this fucking...
That's a minor one though. I think it's clear that the scratches... The rose bed is to hide the cat scratch, and I think they mention who suggested to move the body.
Yes.
I think
that's the way to figure it out for sure.
Yeah, I think it does
you
clearly
narrow
tell
down
you
pretty quickly
that.
This is just because they go to the shed and one thing. Well, obviously the cat got in because someone opened the door of the shed, but as they're kind of trying to coax the cat out from out of the shed, she jumps out and scratches horseshoe on the hand, just like somebody who would have tangled with the cat, who would have been yowling and screeching if you were attacking her owner in the room, of course would happen that. And then if you just thrust your hands into the rose bushes, of course you're going to get scratched up. No one's going to know the wiser.
There's the fact that
everyone's hands are scratched up. And you're playing mahjong that night, you would have noticed their hands much more than usual if they were scratched up.
It was just the red herring of the mother being in a wheelchair. Just okay, so they use the wheelchair to transport. That felt a little cheap, but the rest of it you can figure out.
Because it was son-in-law. I thought initially, it's more his wife, the daughter, was complaining about not getting her share of the inheritance. Is he just trying to make some moves so that they both get some? But it was definitely him. Not that. Oh, there's this whole backstory that we didn't know about. Unless you look really closely or really peruse the social media photos of the phone saying, same watch in this photo.
The K flower, the K is the watch and the K roses. The K roses is the better clue. And then they do draw attention to the watch as well. The K roses being they're a particular type of rose cultivated by the dad. Which almost gives Hosheo away because she's
I got those in my house. And it's no, you don't. I only cultivate them here and give them to our friends and relatives. And she's I said nothing.
Because then that rules out Yuji, because we know that he's not been here for at least 10 years because he mentions the rose. He went and found the body.
Why did you go to the rose garden early in the morning? It's it wasn't here last time I'd been here 10 years ago, so it's been newly built. Yeah.
So it can't be him with the K roses in the Instagram photo. So that reduces it to the only other person, because they can't eliminated the dad. They've eliminated the dad for some reason.
Yeah.
So that does just leave it with Masahiko. So it's a very...
they eliminated the dad because he cultivates the roses, so he would have thorn scratches on his hands anyway. So it's the idea that it's he wouldn't need to cover that up.
That's it, he wouldn't need to drag the body 50 yards to hide it, Yeah, I think this is probably. I think the height and weight one's the best mystery, but I think this is a good, nicely, fairly built one, and it comes in an entire episode, which is also nice. Because the problem I had with the format so far is I've really liked it when it's been half an hour, gives you the week to think about it, and then quarter of an hour to tell you how it was all done.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they would not even they were like, no, we sum it up in 2 minutes, and then there was like an extra like 5 or 10 of like going to just fucking mess around a bit, or it was just like your cliffhanger was it's like, oh, it was just some dude, and really there's true me the case was the VTubers we met along the way. That's
the one which I don't think is from the books, so I think that one is naturally worse. But this has plenty of funny stuff with the detectives as well.
See, that's the other thing. It pads out / fleshes out, like even the VTuber one I enjoyed because them being dipshits is very entertaining to watch. So like that enhances the whole thing. So when it's actually a good mystery, that enhances the whole thing altogether. Yeah.
And more mysteries next week because Detective Conan's back with a canon story involving chess-based murder.
Have the Aoyama Power Hour back again.
Well, I understand the rules of chess, so I got a fair fucking chance at this. No, I don't. They're going to use some fucking mnemonic or code or some other things.
It's a Star Trek chess.
No, 3D chess in your brain? I can't do that.
Damn.
I assume it will be a relatively understandable case, and then loads of other characters going, this reminds me of a previous chess tournament where murders happened. And we'll
chess,
finally...
the most murderous sport available. Yeah.
And
Mahjong, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we already know. We, the audience, already know who Rum is, and I know in the comic, still nobody knows who Rum is in the comic. So I don't think anybody's going to know who Rum is in the story. But it will, I think, fill in a bunch of background stuff about the Asker case. Because that is everything that's suggested by the opening. Rightio, back with that next time then. Anything else? Otherwise, we can say goodbye.
I suppose we'll just say that myself and Dwayne were just had a little sit in there with the fellas over at Christmas Creeps, the podcast about Christmas films and other media all year round. Talking about Spy Family Code White, which is Christmas adjacent.
Yeah.
But it was an extension of their anime-themed month where they talked about anime stuff, much to the chagrin of some of the other hosts on there. But they gave us a call and said, hey, we know about Spy Family, we'll talk about that. So we're ChristmasCreeps.com. We'll be all about that. And giving some some notes there about the direction that me and Dwayne are taking next with regards in getting back on the podcast pony. So look forward to that, or not even look forward to it. Go and check it out right now.
Yes.
Creeps.com.
Rightio, I'm going to hit the end record time. Bye for now.
Feliz Navidad.